After asthenosphere we have a mantle. So here you can see we have a mantle. This part of mantle is actually extending from here as well. I mean, the lithosphere is actually there on this mantle. The upper mantle part is being known as upper part of this is what? Mantle. So upper part of mantle is lithosphere. After the lithosphere in mantle we have asthenosphere. Okay. So mantle is basically the portion which is beyond the crust. Okay. And mantle is predominantly a solid material. Here we have a solid rocks. Okay. After the asthenosphere we have solid rocks, and above the asthenosphere we also have a solid rocks. Whereas if you see the density of rocks, so if you are in the upper middle, if you are in the upper mantle and if you are moving towards the lower mantle, so the density of rocks will certainly increase. The upper portion of mantle is basically the part of asthenosphere, and the density of higher than the crust. Asthenosphere's density will be higher than the crust. And yes, when we are talking about this particular part of mantle, so mantle is actually comprised of silicate minerals rich in iron and magnesium. So they are rich in iron and magnesium. So this is a generalized idea about the mantle. If you see the temperature in mantle, so the temperature in mantle ranging somewhere near to 2000 degrees Celsius, near to 2000 degrees Celsius. This is what the temperature of lowermost mantle, I would say, ranging somewhere from 500 to 2000 Celsius. This would be the pattern of temperature on an increasing number in the mantle parts as you go deeper in mantle itself. Moving ahead, next is core. So till the depth of 2900 kilometer, we have what? Mantle. So from almost we can say after the asthenosphere, or let's say roughly 350, after the depth of 350 kilometer till the depth of 2900 kilometer, we have what? Part of mantle. However, asthenosphere itself is a part of mantle. Okay. However, lithosphere is also the part of mantle. Okay. So technicality, if we see, so from after 200 kilometer, including lithosphere, we have what? The beginning of mantle, which is extended up to a depth of 2900 kilometer in our Earth's interior. Core is made up of heavy material. Nebula, I hope you remember. Disk, I hope you remember that the central part were actually the contracting one, and I hope you remember disk were rotating, Earth is also rotating. So as per that particular aspect, what we can say that the central part will have a more denser material, and here we have a denser material in the core parts, and core is actually comprised of nickel and iron. Outer layer is liquid. How you can say outer layer is liquid? Based on seismic activities, based on seismic studies, which we are about to see. Okay, so based on studies we have this pattern. So outer core is liquid while inner core is solid. How we can say this? We can say based on seismic studies, we can say on the basis of behavior of seismic waves itself. So from 2900 kilometer up to the depth of 6378 kilometer, we have what? Core, which is categorically being divided as outer core from the depth of 2900 kilometer up to 5100 kilometer, and after 5100 kilometer up to a depth of 6378 kilometer, that is being categorically tagged as inner core. So 2900 to 51 outer core, to 51 to 6378 inner core. All right. So the density of core is higher than the mantle. Obviously, with the same way, if you move in that way, density will going to increase. Simple. So core is divided, I told you, in the outer core and inner core parts. Outer core is liquid, inner core is solid. And the temperature of core, if you see the temperature of the inner core specifically, so the temperature of inner core is somewhere 4000 degrees Celsius, ranging from almost 2500 degrees Celsius from mantle towards the central part of core. So as you go deeper, the temperature pattern will also go. Okay, moving ahead. Outer core is liquid, and if you see the Earth's magnetic field, it is believed that the Earth magnetic field is actually created by convection in the outer core mixed with the Coriolis force. It's because of the convection currents. Here we have a rising of convection currents. We have a liquid magma which is coming on the surface. I hope you remember in the endogenetic and exogenetic processes or those forces. However, mantle is acting like a slab, but there are some fractures. And from those fractures, this liquid portion, or let's say this liquid magma, is actually uprising while crossing the mantle, entire mantle, and emerging and appearing on the crust, or let's say surface part. Okay, so the source is here, the tank is here, and the pipes are going through the mantle, ultimately led to the surface. Okay, so even in mantle, we do not have a one solid rigid rock circle or rock ball. There are certain fractures, there are certain cavities in these rocks. When we have a cavities in these rocks, lava or magma will going to ascend, it will going to rise, and it will going to appear on the surface of earth, or it will appear while following through the fractures of crust and appear on the surface. Okay. Inner core is solid, primarily comprised of iron and nickel. Moving ahead. So we got to know, as of now, we got to know that the Earth's interior is highly uneven. Now you will say, how you can say Earth's interior is highly uneven? So I told you to remember a one fact, that is based on the seismic study. How we can say based on the seismic study? We are about to see. Okay? We are about to see this. So Earth's interior is not uniform, and like here, as you know, we have discussed that there are certain categorization or certain layers of rocks are there which are being categorized in terms of, let's say, layers. So in order to mark this density difference, you will see oil and water. Oil and water will not going to mix with each other, though both are liquid. It means what? The density is different. So here we also have a same thing, that though the rocks are there, but these rocks will have a different density, and just because these rocks will have a different density, the junction, or let's say the point from which the density is changing, that particular point or that particular junction would be known as discontinuity. So this would be known as what? Discontinuity. Here it would be known as what? Discontinuity. A transition zone which actually separates the two different densities or two different densities rock layers. To separate densities of layers, or let's say rocks, there are what? Discontinuities. Features are discontinue. Suppose we have a one rock. Say we have a one rock. Here we have a second rock. When you are moving from this point, if you are arriving here, you will say that there is a continuity of feature. This rock R1 is having a same feature, having a same characteristics. So there is a continuity of features. And when you are about to enter in this R2, which is comparatively different in terms of density, so you will see and you will say that this R2 is contrastingly different in terms of density. This R2 is contrastingly different in terms of its density. So what you will say that the point from which the density changed, the density discontinues, the density's feature were changed. So that particular region will be known as what? Discontinuity. Here we have what? This discontinuity is a zone, a transition zone which shows us a shift or change in the rock layers composition. So discontinuities mark a transition zone or boundaries separating rock layers inside the earth with sudden change in the physical and chemical properties of rocks. So I hope you remember crust, mantle, core. The basis of division of crust, mantle and core is also density. Okay, based on density, we have a categorization of crust, mantle and core. I hope you remember the crust will have a less density, mantle will have a more and core will have a higher density. So based on this particular aspect, the density is changing, but the density is not changing. Density is changing all of a sudden. So to mark that transition zone, we have discontinuity. So here, whenever we have a discontinuity in upper crust and lower crust, whenever we have a discontinuity in upper crust and lower crust, that will be called as what? Conrad discontinuity. Known as what? Conrad discontinuity. So suppose here we have a upper crust, here we have a lower crust. For example, the depth of crust is 100 kilometer. So let's say upper crust is 0 to 50 and lower crust is 50 to 100. So technically what we can say, the density of rocks which is there in the upper crust and the density of rock which is there in the lower crust, whose density would be greater? Obviously lower one. So to mark this density difference, we have what? Conrad discontinuity. Similarly, we have what? Moho or Mohorovicic discontinuity. This Mohorovicic discontinuity is a discontinuity between lower crust and upper mantle, or you can say this is the discontinuity between crust and mantle. This is the discontinuity between crust and mantle. Then we have a Repetti discontinuity. Repetti discontinuity is between upper mantle and lower mantle. Here you can see in this image as well. So suppose we have a mantle. This is the mantle. Okay, this is the upper mantle, the lower mantle. So this one is known as what? This is being known as what? Repetti discontinuity. Gutenberg discontinuity is a discontinuity between mantle and core. So this is the discontinuity between mantle and core, or in other words you can say it is a discontinuity between lower mantle and outer core. Okay, so lower mantle and outer core. Lehmann discontinuity is there, and this Lehmann discontinuity is the discontinuity between outer core and inner core. All these discontinuities are actually separating the different densities of rocks. Okay, so there might be a question in your exam. On the one side, UPSC could give you the name of these discontinuities. On another side, UPSC, I mean on the other side of that particular match the following kind of question. On the other side, they would give you to locate which reasons and which reasons could be associated with which particular discontinuity. In this way, question could be there. Okay, or even question could be there in terms of statement form as well. This is regarding the interior, the idea of interior. Now, so here we have proper discussion about these things, that these discontinuities, density of different layers and rocks is validated by seismic waves or seismic study. So this layered wise arrangement of solid to liquid is also being validated by what? Seismic studies. Liquid for outer core. Okay. So it is the seismic studies, it is the behavior of seismic waves. Based on that, we used to say that what could be the possible arrangement of our Earth's interior. Based on that, we used to say that the crust is solid, mantle is solid, in between we have a asthenosphere which is plastic in nature, then we have a core, and core is also comprised of two parts, among which we have an outer core which is liquid and inner core which is solid. So apart from asthenosphere and outer core, rest of the layers are pure solid, whereas asthenosphere is plastic and outer core is what? Purely liquid. It means what? That our earth structure is ranging from solid to plastic to liquid. So unevenness is there. Okay, there is no even distribution, there is an uneven distribution. So that would be all in this particular part. Next session or in next video, we would have a deep dive on this seismic studies, and based on the seismic studies you will get to know that what actually is the composition of our interior. However, it is similar to the aspect which we have learned as of now, but you'll have a more insight. Till then, take care, study hard.